What's going on, y'all? What's happening? What it is? Welcome to the Millennial Masterclass, episode 35. I'm not gonna say a jersey number because Sean doesn't want
I
me
was
to say it.
waiting.
I was gonna say
Who would you have said?
I would have said episode Durant, but he wears number 7 now,
Oh,
so I might have had
oh.
to pull somebody else out the bag. But that's neither here nor there. I'm Trist. I'm posted up
As
in
you
New
said,
York.
you're not going to say it. You're saying it.
I didn't say
Okay.
it. I didn't say it. Leslie asked. I
I
answered the
asked.
question. Leslie
So
asked. I
you
answered the
said
question.
it.
I didn't say it though. I didn't. I
I'll
didn't.
take the blame for that one.
See, that's all. That's all that is there. But I definitely have one for next week, though. That's an important week. But that's not important. What is important is that Leslie told us Fire and Brimstone is coming. Literally, shortly before we got on, she was like, "Lord, come take us away. Come take us away." And started singing a Negro spiritual.
It's a him.
It was
That's not a
wild.
nigga.
It was wild.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
If you get your life right, you ain't gotta fear it. It's all right, y'all.
Oh
It's
my
all right.
How
gosh.
many people thought that they were going to be still alive when the Lord came back and now they're not alive?
That's a lot of people. That's what I'm saying.
So it might not
it's so
happen in our
funny.
lifetime either. You're like, I don't know
Wait,
why people.
it's so funny.
You'll
I
never
just
know
had
the
this
day nor the
conversation.
hour.
I just had this conversation on Sunday with a girl. She was saying how her grandma lived to be 112. And I said, wow, that's a blessing. And then my bro was like, actually, he's like, I don't know if I want to be here to 112. He was like, she's seen a lot. She done been through a lot. I was like, yeah, she's probably at like 86 years old. Like, any day now, Lord. Any day now. And then he let her live for like another 20.
112 though, I'm gonna be real with you. Depending on my quality of life, 112 might
Right.
not be so bad. Like if I could still walk around and like put my own fucking pants on and go to the bathroom by myself and occasionally get busy with a 95-year-old, everything is good.
Why are you
Everything
still
is
thinking about
good.
that? Like,
Yeah.
What? Why
what?
can't I think about that? I'm
I just
112.
Does it
feel
work?
like
It for sure works.
everybody that you really, really know is dead for real.
Oh, yeah.
Like
All your
now you know,
homies.
like great grandkids. Like, you know, that's
But honestly, I think that would work to my advantage because at that point you become a fucking novelty. There's nowhere you can't go. You get in everywhere you want to be. Like
You
literally, if
say
I'm like,
whatever.
all I have
that's
to do is
true.
write to any celebrity. I'm 112. Could I come see your concert? You know, granted, dying man's last request lived to 125. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to really
True.
seize the day with that shit. I'm 112. I'm 112. I'm singing peaches and cream
Not
everywhere I go.
112.
Everywhere I go, they're gonna be paying peaches and
I'm
cream.
done.
Oh man,
It's
Neil,
my
he
year,
dreams.
112.
I'm
Talk about it.
done.
Talk about it. What's going on in Texas? You was over here espousing all of this. Did you wait a minute before you tell us about Texas? What's that new movie with Sterling K. Brown where like they're a pastor or
Oh,
whatever?
Regina.
What?
preach. What is it called?
Regina in it too, right?
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for
What's the
sure.
name of it? I'm gonna go see it. It's
No, but it was giving very much that. You was over here. You was
yeah.
giving us this. You was giving us that.
Oh, while Sean
Honk
looks it
for
up.
Jesus, save your soul.
Yes,
Yes,
honk for Jesus,
yes.
save your
Honk for
soul. I'm gonna go
Jesus.
see
Honk
that.
for Jesus, baby.
So yes, down in Texas. Well, today it was like a little mini tsunami outside. We finally got rain specifically here. We didn't really get much rain from 2 weeks ago when it stormed in Dallas, but we had that here today, and it's crazy because my aunt's in a picture and like her neighbor's tree like fell onto like the base of where her driveway is. Luckily her car was, further up, so it didn't
Ooh.
damage anything, but literally there's this huge tree that's blocking her driveway completely, so like the city is out there trying to like cut it down and
It's
move it
always
and
a
stuff
road
like that.
tree somewhere and it always falls and you never know if it's going to be your tree or somebody else's tree. Like that what's crazy that it's happened by my mother's house like 3 times. Thank the
Oh
Lord that it
wow,
hasn't been by
that's
her. But there's a
crazy.
lot of trees there. That's what I'm saying. Anywhere
uh
you're rolling the dice when you live under trees. You would just
yeah,
every day
that's
you
real.
just don't know.
That's real. But this weekend I was in Cleveland with my Howard family, specifically my
It was in
quadruplet
Cleveland.
family. It was in Cleveland. Cleveland was actually cute. I didn't
Don't
know what to
don't
expect
don't
when we
don't
got
stop
there.
that. Stop
Not
that. Don't even do that.
actually
It
Don't
cute.
do that. You don't need to
was
give them.
Hey,
You don't need
cute. It
to. You don't
was
need to sanitize
hey.
what is already dirty. Let that shit go. Okay, it's fucking clean.
No, real talk though. It was a lit weekend. Let me say, there was a baseball game, there was a football game, there was some kind of summer jam going on because Calvin saw Saucy Santana in our hotel, like in the
Did he
lobby.
walk? Did he
So
walk?
apparently he was
Walk?
staying there.
Walk?
No,
Walk?
Calvin's like, I'm gonna
Walk?
just leave him, I'm
Walk?
gonna leave him be or whatever. Tiana had her rose petal tour there on Friday. That dinner in
Cleveland?
Blanc. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where Bron used to play it with them? Where Bron and them used to play? What? Cleveland.
Yeah. It was
The Cavaliers.
Good job. Good job. We love to see it. We love that type of energy here on the Millennial Masterclass. She said, and she said the shit so cool too. She said, the Cavaliers, like she was Prince. That shit was wild.
I'm trying to know. I know. You know.
I appreciate it. I
All right,
really
y'all.
do.
You
Yeah.
were Leslie.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
tickle in my
Talk
throat.
so much about Jesus coming down. He about to come down on you.
come to snatch you
You
away.
said you was ready.
She did. Definitely said she was ready.
Don't say that, Lord. Give me a little more time. I gotta
how
get
it
through the
changes.
show.
And
I
now
gotta
it
get through the
changes.
show. I gotta get through the show for y'all.
Okay. Because it shouldn't matter.
After
Heaven's
that,
so
we
much
can
better. Heaven's so much better.
Wow. That's
No,
wow.
but
Yeah.
so the wedding was super beautiful. It was a Catholic wedding, which I was my first time attending one of those. So I just noticed
So it was
like
2 hours long, you said?
It actually wasn't. It was just right under an hour. But it was cool how like the bridal party, they walk down the aisle, but then they sit on the side. And like when the bride and groom were up there, they sat down for like the first portion, and then when it was time to say like their vows and exchange the rings, that's when they actually stood up. So it was a little different. But it was cool.
No, that's respectable. I'm gonna tell you why that's respectable, because like you're not gonna have me up here for no damn hour when every other wedding is 10 minutes long. And you like only the bride and groom have to stand. I respect that. We came here, so you niggas gotta stand. Now that is respect. that is it. You know what?
So
you talk about something you haven't seen that did I tell you what happened last wedding that was odd that I was at, where they brought the marriage license? Yeah, but okay, so in the middle of the wedding ceremony, they were like, and now they're going to sign their marriage licenses. They brought a table out with the marriage licenses and signed the marriage licenses mid-ceremony, right? So the bride, the groom, both their witnesses, so the maid of honor, the best man, and then the pastor that married them signed it. You got 5 signatures. Like I thought they were inking a deal on draft day. It was crazy.
I never seen that. No, normally they poured a little sand into like the unity thing. Or
no, they made it official at the altar,
that.
which makes sense because most times people sign their marriage licenses like hours before. So at that point, technically, I feel like you're already married. So I mean, it made sense like in the flow of things, but it was just hilarious. Like it was almost like if you had the little music playing, like the dum 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 dum, it would have been like an episode of Benny Hill or some shit. It was crazy.
But anyway, the reception was probably the most beautiful reception I've been to, as far as like the decor. Like we walked through like this tunnel where the drapery was like this purple hue, and then you walk into like this tunnel of flowers everywhere. When you walk in, you see like these long tables full of flowers and candles, and just everything was just so gorgeous. And they actually, when you walk in, they had their cake in the middle of the dance floor, so that when the wedding party came in, the first thing that they did was cut the cake and just got that out the way, you know? So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, we had a great time. You already know.
How was
DJ
the food?
Trife. The food was actually really good. So first of all, cocktail hour, we had lobster rolls, we had crab cakes, we had like little empanadas and like the dumpling type of things. They had so much. They of course had their little signature drinks. And of course, Roy was like, told the bartenders beforehand, like, don't be shy, have a heavy pour. I want my friends to have a good time. We're paying for this, so don't skimp on the alcohol or whatever. So and DJ Trife was on the ones and twos the whole night and on the mic, so it was fun. There was one point where like if you were like of African or Caribbean descent, they like gave you whatever your respective flag was, and then they just played like different, type of music.
So it was a whole Howard party. It was literally
a whole Howard party. I was like, dang, I want a flag. I'm just a black Texan. I ain't from nowhere.
You should have just been like, give me a USA flag. I'm disrespecting right now.
He didn't have those specifically.
They didn't have a Texas flag. I feel like you would.
No, it was like Caribbean, African descent, like straight from the diaspora.
What do you mean? I'm from Africa. Where do you think they dropped us off?
If you like
Ancestry.com told me that I was like 34% Nigerian.
So. It told all of us we were about 34% Nigerian.
But then I guess we all lost.
That's what I'm saying. The fuck? Like y'all don't get to celebrate around me because they didn't drop you off at the right time.
Oh, we was in that mix, still having a good old time. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Great being around friends. I've been on a high ever since. So yeah, it was a good time.
I saw the pictures. You was looking good.
Thank you, twin.
Oh, that black dress.
Y'all, when I tell y'all, if y'all need something quick, because at first I was gonna wear like a different dress that I already had, but I decided like literally like the week before, like, no, I want to wear something that's a little shorter, so I'm not having to worry about it. And I just wanted a totally different type of dress. I hopped on Amazon real quick, found that mug within a couple of days. It came, paid less than, I think it was like $33, something like that. So if you need some quick fashions, you know, you change your mind last minute or whatever, don't be afraid to look on Amazon, because Amazon my go-to. So just shout that out. You
I
need
ain't
some
never
quick fashions,
scared.
lady.
I be on design. I be on there. They
Mm-hmm.
know me.
On design? Are we doing that? I
They
don't
know
think we should.
me. They know me on
Ooh,
design. They
that's
know
kind of a
me.
cute name. If you name a child Design, like
No, nigga. No. No.
Wow, early
No.
Texas really coming
No.
out of you right
It
there.
really is.
Dezon
Oh
Design.
hell no. Leslie been on Leslie is on a high today. She been on some wild shit.
You know it's
Oh,
D capital Z.
I actually got to tell y'all something off air from the weekend, but I'm about to put it on air or whatever. But I'll tell y'all after the show. But yeah, it
Cornelius,
was
you
some
need to
wild
be
stuff.
Cornelius. Do we need to bring him in here? Do you need to
Oh
talk to
no, he
him?
already knows. He already knows. I
Talk
texted
to-
him while everything was happening, and I FaceTime him afterwards. But he already knows. But y'all will be
Oh
like,
my
"What?"
God. Did you film a World Star video? I'm excited.
No, no.
He's obviously
Anyway,
right now.
I know.
Sean, what did you do this
Hey,
weekend?
not much. I hung out with Latifah's friends on Friday, so that was fun.
Fun.
Yes, I met him already, so it wasn't like a
Oh,
first time meeting thing, so that was good. And the rest of my weekend was pretty boring. I wish it was more exciting.
I mean, that's all right. It's
That's
cool to have
real.
a chill weekend.
Yeah, it was pretty chill. You save a lot of money on chill weekends.
That part.
Mm.
I'm about to have a chill weekend till homecoming, for real, for real.
No,
Did you
but
tell us what you did this weekend, Tristan? I don't think we.
no, honestly, I didn't do a whole bunch, but like I did a lot of skating. Like I felt like I
Okay.
skated for like 3 times. Like I was
Oh
going
wow.
hard. Like I was because like I went on Friday and then I went like 2 more times late. And I mean like late. Like it was like 2 or 4. Like it was like I came home at like 4 a.m. from skating. Like I was just
Were
going
you like
hard.
outside?
I was. Yeah, the weather was nice. It was like a crisp 71. And I
Were
just went
there other
upstairs.
people out there?
Okay,
I mean,
Chris.
there were people out there, but they weren't on the basketball court I was on. And I had my music out
Um,
there and I was just getting down. And I feel like it's time to buy another set of wheels now. Like it's really
it
that
must be
time.
nice to be a guy, like, because I feel like maybe I'm just scared, but I wouldn't be out there at like 2 to 4 a.m. like
There were
skating
like
outside.
but see, the thing is that like you're like it's New York. Like there are still like there was literally
Exactly.
people.
That's
No,
my
no, no. But
point.
that's what I'm saying. That's the reason you would because like there were like people in like lawn chairs and like a gathering of 10 up until like the time I went indoors. They were out just playing music. There were kids that were out there running. Then there was a group of teenagers sitting over
Why
there
is the kids asleep?
smoking
Yeah,
something.
them kids should have been
I don't
asleep.
have
That's
all those answers.
irresponsible.
I don't have all those answers for you. But what I do know is that people were out. They were outside. And occasionally
And
people
it's the
would
school year. You got to keep kids trained to go to sleep at a decent hour. So during the week,
look.
they'll
I
still be
don't
going to sleep
have
at a
all the
decent
answers
hour.
for you, but what I'm telling you is that it was perfectly fine to be out there. I had music blasting at like 4 a.m. and it was
Child.
cool. And it was cool, man. The joys of Harlem in the summer. That's all I can say.
It must be nice.
And plus, it ain't nothing
Mm-hmm.
but across the street and up the stairs. Like it's like effectively the distance of a block, I guess.
Danger could be outside your door. You just
Danger
never
could
know.
be anywhere. What you mean? Like I could turn around and there could be danger. What are we saying? Like danger's anywhere.
Danger. Oh, wait, we're not doing that no more.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's about that time, y'all. It's a time for the street, give the streets what they want. The medicine, if you will, the mental medicine, if you will. It is time for the bulletin board. Les, take it away.
So for my first story called Capital Racist Records, are y'all familiar with this new AI rapper called FN Meka? Or maybe
Yes.
so it's actually like a little avatar, kind of looks like a Sims character. So FN Meka is an AI rapper, given the appearance of a black male cyborg. He was actually created back in 2019 by he was created back in 2019 by Anthony Martini, who is a white guy, and Brandon Lee, who is an Asian man. They're the co-founders of a company called Factory New. So last week there was this big old thing going viral on social media where basically like FN Meka's song, he appears white, right? When you look at the character, but the voice of him is a black man.
Okay.
So basically in his songs, he's saying the N-word and just like giving off the appearance. He kind of looks like a little pump.
Wait a minute, he appears black, or or has a
He
voice.
appears like white, like the skin is like white light type of skin. He kind of looks like a Takashi or a Lil Pump with the colorful hair and
But
like
it's
the
a black dude
hairstyle.
voicing him, though, right?
But it's a black guy voicing it.
Okay, cool.
So in the lyrics of this, some of the songs, he's saying the N-word. In one of the videos, he's being like kind of like assaulted by the cops, like thrown on the ground type of thing, which of course that's a sensitive, topic for us as Black people, of course, right? So
but they did everything except make him black.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
They had the black man saying the N-word, and he's being
having black
So he's black, but he's white.
Yeah. You're picking up what I'm putting down, basically.
But they did this shit on Boondocks years ago. Like this is nothing new. Like I'm just surprised they didn't do it sooner, honestly.
Okay, fair enough. So Capitol Records actually announced that it had signed FN Meka a couple weeks ago, billing the rapper as the world's first augmented reality artist to sign with the major label, which is so weird to me because it's still like real people trying to get signed. But anyway, we'll discuss in a second. But amid growing backlash over racial stereotypes and the use of the N-word in the 2019 song called Moonwalking, Capitol Records decided to like X-nay on the contract day. It's too much backlash going on. It's too much in the media, negative press. And they were just like, you know what? We thought this was a good idea at the time, but turns out the public doesn't like it, doesn't rock with it. So we're just going to like dissolve this contract. And they actually issued an apology saying, we offer our deepest apologies to the Black community for our insensitivity in signing this project without asking enough questions about equity and the creative process behind it. They also said, we thank those who have reached out to us with constructive feedback in the past couple of days. Your input was invaluable as we come to the decision to end our association with the project. Now, they basically pulled the plug on it and apologized because there is a Black activist group called Industry Blackout that are the ones that were really like going hard, like, this is racist, this is inequality for us Black people. They basically said it's offensive and a direct insult to the Black community and our culture. They also said one of the songs that the FN Meka character had featured Gunna, oddly enough. And they said Gunna is a Black artist who is featured on a song with FN Meka, but he's currently incarcerated for rapping the same type of lyrics this robot mimics. So the difference is your artificial rapper will not be subject to federal charges, but Gunna, a real Black man, will be, for the lyrics. So it was a lot of outrage, which is why Capitol Records decided to part ways with it. What are your thoughts on this whole AI rapper situation?
I mean, honestly, the only good reason they to get rid of it was that last reason you said. Because what? Because other than that, like it's pretend. Like it's in it's a cartoon. Like that's the reason you made it, so it could do whatever you needed it to do. It's a cartoon. You know what I mean? And like it's a Black dude voicing it. Like, and they did this on the Boondocks. Like I just feel like it's just the virtual version of the Boondocks. But if Gunna's gonna be
on the Boondocks?
Was
it like a white character being voiced by a Black man?
Yeah, Charlie Murphy and Sam Jackson used to voice these two white guys on the Boondocks. Like they were the Wunklers. They were huge. They were they would say nigga and all kind of stuff. They would say the wildest shit, like for sure. And people loved it and ate that shit up. So, I'm just not here for it. Y'all can't be selective about what y'all are upset about. It'd be the same niggas that be like, man, the Boondocks are the truth. Are they? Are they the truth? Because you're just upset about this shit. But no, I mean, but if Gunna is gonna be subject to like if they're gonna use his lyrics against him, and then like Meka is like not eligible to go to jail, then yeah, no, cut that shit off. No, that's probably the only real reason I've heard so far.
I have to agree with Tristan's last reason for that exact reason. Other than that, though, I don't really give a fuck. It's the cards. What? Is it gonna be on the radio? Like, I don't.
But that's the whole point. So I think
it could be. It could be on the radio, yeah.
Because it was signed to an actual record label. So I think it's one thing to like have like these video games or even like the metaverse where you can like create these characters, or even like real rappers like Travis Scott had like an actual concert in like the metaverse type of stuff. So that's fucking one awesome. Thing.
That's dope.
But another, yeah, sure. I didn't see it, but sure. But it's another thing when it's like you're signing like make believe characters to actual record labels. Like it's just a little weird to me.
It's not weird.
Like yes it is. I think it's hella white people trying to like, because it's hella white people in those actual rooms that are getting the big fucking checks. They got one black man with voice, but like the rest of that
he didn't even get paid for it. He said he was supposed to get like equity. He was supposed to get like X amount of dollars. He said he didn't get any of that.
And I don't feel bad for him because you shouldn't have did that dumb shit anyway. But damn.
I guess for me, it's like we literally as a society try to monetize everything. Like literally, there's nothing. Like if they could sell,
that's the problem.
They sell you oxygen. They sell you everything. So this is not anything new. And honestly, I've seen Ready Player One and read the book. So I've been waiting on this for a couple of years now. So like the sooner we get to the Oasis, I want to get on I want to get in the Oasis. I want to check it out. I'm going to go on the metaverse. And I'm about to get my shit together. I'm about to release something on the metaverse. Check it out.
I mean, if somebody wants to buy that shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like we buy NFTs. NFT, you really don't.
No, we don't. People don't
buy really any.
We don't.
No, niggas buy NFTs. I see them buy them. But I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying specifically we.
Oh no, we have not. We have not bought NFTs. No. But no, I'm just saying people buy whatever. This is nothing new. I'm honestly, if you can get people to pay for it, good for you. You're not at least curious. You don't want to jump in the metaverse just for 5 minutes and see what's popping.
I'm trying to figure out this lifestyle, this world. Like I'm good. I'm good on the metaverse. Once I got this thing unlocked, then sure.
The only reason I ask is because I've read the book Ready Player One. Not that like it is the telling of the future, but in the book,
one with the black guy starring in it in the movie.
No, it's never mind. It's not that. But it's as simple as this. Everybody lives their life virtually now, right? They put this headgear on, right? And then you go into this world. But the thing is that it became so popular because the world got so fucked up that like that currency became the new currency of the world. It was global currency. You know what I mean? Like there was nothing you couldn't do inside there. Business transactions were held in there. Kids went to school in there. That's what I'm saying. This is where this could be going. That's why I'm like, maybe we need to really invest in this and jump on this wave and not miss another one. You know what I'm saying? Like I see the wave coming. We need to ride out with it.
If we actually do right by the world that we're in, but no, like people are selfish. But anywho, we'll table that for now because I'm sure there'll be more coming out about metaverses and artificial intelligence, so I'm sure we'll pick this conversation right back up. But moving right along to We Did It Joe news. Did y'all hear about the student loans?
I did hear about Grandpa Joe. Yes, I did. But he didn't even get the full package signed. He gave us a little something. No, he did give us a little.
I mean, he gave us low-key what he promised though, what he ran on, saying the whole 10,000. Like, sure, he could definitely have the power to cancel more, but but of course he's doing it this late in the game because it's coming up midterms and everything like that.
I mean, that's when you do it. That's when you do
it. Exactly. So who knows? Maybe he will like later on be like, all right, I knocked out that 10K for you. You vote for me again. I'll wipe it all out. Who knows? But as everyone has heard by now, last week, President Joe Biden announced his plan to address the student loan debt, which includes debt forgiveness for certain borrowers and extending the pandemic pause related payment. So the administration has
he said pause. I was like pause.
The new plan applies to federal student loan borrowers, but not private. Sorry. So the amount of debt canceled depends on whether the borrower received the Pell Grant or not. If you received the Pell Grant, it's up to $20,000. If you did not receive a Pell Grant, and it was federal, it's just $10,000. If you make less than $125,000 yearly. Or if you're a married couple, then you have to make less than $250,000 yearly. And the pause on the student loan repayment has been extended until December 31st of this year. But after that, he said there'll be no more, forbearance pauses. Y'all gonna all have to start paying it back starting January 1st. Okay, you can go
Keep
ahead.
pushing it back, pushing it back until you out of office, Joe. Keep doing it.
I forgave my loans a long time ago. This is between got invited at this point. So the administration will launch an application in the next coming weeks for borrowers to provide their income information if they're unsure if it's already on file with the Department of Education. The last thing I would say that they're also proposing a new rule to create a new income-driven repayment plan in which borrowers pay no more than 5% of their monthly income, where before it was a 10% threshold. So that's good as well, because when like you talking to people and like people share like, oh yeah, my loans are this much, my loans this much. Some of my friends' loans repayment plans were like rent. Like they were paying rent in loan repayments. And I'm like,
but you can structure that the way you want to structure it though. Because like when you call them, you can structure it how you want to structure it. Like I remember one time.
No, if they do income based, then they're just going off of whatever you make.
Exactly.
And
if it's
that's how they structured it. Okay, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when I called them, they were like, yeah, you can kind of set how you want to pay it back. It was like paying back taxes. So,
it just depends. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I suppose so.
And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I only got, I think, 2.5 more years, and I can qualify for public service loan forgiveness because I've been working nonprofit since I got out of college.
Just hold on. Just hold on.
Yeah, I don't got that much time left. So.
Oh yeah, you smart.
I'm good on the rest of that loan too, boo.
That's what's up. Good for you.
I gotta start that application. They said it's lengthy as hell, but
fill it out. Fill it out.
Anyway, in my last story of the day, I like to title this what?
Lord.
I gotta get into character. Hold on.
Into character.
I don't even know what this is, so I'm just waiting.
No one knows what this is. I'm surprised just as you are.
Tristan, I'm surprised you can't tell by the title.
I don't look at the title just because I like to be surprised now.
Perfect. Okay.
You never know what we're gonna get.
The title of this one is okay, I hope I say it right. I listened to it just to make sure I would get it right. Hold on. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. When I was there broke, man, I couldn't picture this. Did I say it right? I was trying to sound like Biggie.
That sounded lame as fuck. I ain't gonna lie to you. Super Nintendo.
It was like you was somebody's mama and you had just first heard the song and you was like, yeah, I know what they talking about. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. But I was dead broke, couldn't picture this.
I was trying. But anyway, I even listened to the song to make sure I was saying the cadence right.
When I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture this.
That part.
The sofa got green by the chauffeur.
Yeah, exactly what y'all said. So
2G's flat, cell phone bill, 2G's flat. Something about my accountant, because my accountant handles that.
Handle that.
Yeah.
Hey. My whole
crew lounging. Celebrate every day. No more public housing.
No more public housing.
You know very well who you are.
And if you don't know, now you know, nigga.
All right. So this story pertains to Biggie's daughter. So that's why I named this. And honestly, he's probably turning over in his grave. Yeah, he has.
And I'm in New York right now too, but I'm not in Brooklyn, so we're good. It's fine. I'm not in Bed-Stuy.
Yeah. So the late notorious B.I.G's daughter, Tiana Wallace, like I just mentioned, she's 29 years old. She actually posted a $1 million
does she look like her daddy?
She does.
Oh, yes, wonderful. Let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. I'm sorry. I just my mind. It's
why
sad.
you had to ask me that in a minute?
It's
okay. Sad. So she
nice girl. Nice gowns.
Beautiful gowns.
Beautiful.
Okay. She posted a $1 million bail for her longtime partner, Tyshawn Baldwin.
I mean, how long he been in jail?
With their child. So listen, this is a ridiculous story. They share a child together. They're not married, but they have a child together. So, and are still in a relationship. So Fox News reports that her boyfriend Baldwin was arrested. Listen, and I almost sent y'all the video, but I know y'all. But no, this one actually, I saw the video myself. I started to send it to y'all, but I know y'all don't really want to watch like traumatic stuff anymore, so I didn't send it. So
I
Anyway,
appreciate that.
Baldwin was arrested after being involved in a hit and run incident that injured 3 people, including a mother and her baby. So on August 10th, Baldwin allegedly fled from the police and hit a group of pedestrians. So mind you, the police were after him already. He was fleeing from the police. And in the midst of that, he hit 3 people in a crosswalk. A mother, her child, her 2-year-old child, and then like a 35-year-old man who was just trying to deliver some food. So this happened in Queens, New York. And then 6 days later, after he hit them, he ended up turning himself in. He had a warrant out, of course, and he ended up turning himself in.
Okay.
So during his first appearance in court, Baldwin, who's 28, was held on a $1 million bond by Judge Scott Dunn. However, Wallace, 29, put up her $1.5 million Brooklyn home to secure Baldwin's bond.
He fled the police once. You think he ain't gonna do that again with your bail money? He about to run off on the plug twice.
But you don't pay. You don't pay the full bail. You only pay 10% of that. So she probably just took the equity out of her home, though.
Yeah, but that's stupid as fuck. Can't they take her home away if he don't show up? Bail?
I mean, something tells me that she is anticipating him skipping bail. Like, you don't buy somebody out of jail and don't think they're not gonna run. Like, something tells me if she bought him out. Ran. He can run again. I mean, that's real.
So Baldwin was arraigned on a 17-count complaint with a list of crimes, including reckless endangerment, unlawful fleeing of a police officer, endangering the welfare of a child, obstructing governmental administration, assault, and other vehicle-related offenses. The mother and her 2-year-old child were treated for minor injuries at a local hospital. However, the 35-year-old man has more severe damage to his leg, and we don't know like his current condition. We haven't been updated yet on how he's doing. So my thing is, like, I get that show, man, and you're going to stick beside him. But at the same time, like, there is a video of this actually happening out here. So not only was he, like I said, fleeing the police for a routine traffic stop or something else that happened, he's on video hitting these people. He's going to go down for these charges, you know, in a sense. So it's like,
nobody died yet, right?
Nobody died, but you're going to be convicted of something in this instance. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to walk away a free man. Yes. So basically, he has to go back on October 18th. And if he is convicted, he's facing up to 25 years in prison with all the charges that he has. 25? With all the charges that he has. Yeah. So, sis, I know you love that man, but I ain't putting my home up for that because you're going to go to jail regardless. So whether you have to sit in, it's going to be time served if you just stayed in there.
She need to call Uncle Diddy and have Diddy come wave the magic wand. She need to call Uncle Diddy. That's about the only
Diddy out of this one. I got a question. What did that story have to do with that title? I just knew it was going to be about a game system.
Because it was Nintendo, something. No, because it was his daughter, and then it said, "You could have picked when I was there, Brooklyn. I couldn't picture this. Biggie couldn't picture this happening to his daughter. He couldn't believe his daughter."
That's a stretch. I thought you were gonna tie in Grand Theft Auto. That was why I said Grand Theft Auto.
I mean, he drove away in the car. Same thing.
You could have picked any other Biggie song.
I just asked because you could have picked any other Biggie song, and you picked one that you.
Which one? Okay, so each of y'all, which song would y'all have picked? Which line from a song would y'all have picked for this title? Since y'all can do it better, go. 10 seconds.
I'm a fucking piece of shit, and I ain't hard to tell.
Sure.
What was your song? Go ahead.
I was like, damn, you could have just said if you don't know, now you know. I would have known who you were.
That was last week's title of the show. Really I didn't want to use that again.
Damn. But,
I'm just saying you could have gone somewhere.
When they call me Big Papa.
They had nothing to do with nothing either.
I don't know nothing. Neither did yours.
Mine was good.
I just feel like you could have gone through 10 crack commandments and you'd have found something. Like I felt like there is in there.
Time
in there. It's time. They're listed. The 10 crack commandments. You pull them up right now.
How about this? The next 2 episodes. How about Sean? You could do next week.
I don't want to do it.
With the title,
and then
after that,
you do a really good job. I do not want to take that away from you.
Honestly,
it's not a toxic work environment. I don't want to do that to the show.
Nice segue. That's all I have for y'all. So I'll keep my ears to the street and report back next week.
We are back. Yes, indeed. Today's episode, we are going to talk about a very serious issue. It's an issue that plagues millions of young millennial Americans. It's an issue that just irks them down to their very core and soul. It's the toxic workplace. Dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun,
dun.
dun.
Oh, so you knew.
That was
You knew.
way too dramatic.
You
I
knew.
was
You
like,
knew.
what?
You knew. See, there it is. No, but
That's
today we're talking
energy.
about toxic workplaces, identifying them. Like, what is a toxic workplace? How can you handle them if you are in a toxic workplace? We're going to go through all of it today, and we're going to talk about all of those things. But the first things first, what is a toxic workplace? What's the first thing that comes to mind to y'all's mind when you hear the word toxic workplace? Sean, go real quick. What is the first thing that comes to your mind? Toxic workplace. Go.
Working overtime and not getting paid for it.
Leslie, go real quick. What's
You
the first
said-
thing that comes to your mind?
Hurry up.
Toxic workplace. First thing comes to your mind. Go.
Enterprise.
What?
Enterprise.
That's real. That's super real. That's super.
That's easy. Enterprise.
Oh, okay.
Working overtime. There we go.
Mhm.
That's
Y'all
real.
niggas was working like slaves.
That's
Yes.
real. That's real.
Yes, we were. Yeah,
That's real.
pretty much. I got stories for days. What y'all want to know? I'll tell you. It's so funny. Now that we're having this conversation, like last month, I got an email from a lawyer's office saying that there's like a class action suit being brought against Enterprise for like unpaid wages, like unpaid like overtime wages and stuff for assistant managers. So it's like if you're assistant manager between this day and this date, then
I know you qualify.
to be a part of this.
I know you qualify.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I did for sure. For sure. But initially I low-key thought like this was a joke or it was a face I didn't pay much attention to until I saw Eves, our friend Eves to the show. He actually like posted on his story that he had got the same email. He's like, is this real, y'all? So then I had like commented on his story, like, bro, I got the same thing. Now that I see he's like, yeah, I asked a couple people, it's real. He's like, I'm about to fill out the paperwork. I said, shoot, me too. So we just waiting to hear back on what comes with that. But I was like, shoot, about time, because somebody had to do it.
Watch them break open the bag, and y'all end up, somewhere on the beach in the Maldives or something.
I'm waiting for the documentary. I want to be a part of that. I love me a good documentary. I'll be sitting right up in that chair, like, okay, so what you want to know? Ask me anything. I can tell it to you for real.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I'm
all of it. For free. You ain't even got payment. If you want to drop a coin for the documentary, sure, but I'll tell it to you.
We need an operational definition.
Mm-hmm.
We need an operational definition of a toxic workplace. I'm going to take a stab at it. I feel like a toxic workplace is a workplace in which you don't feel comfortable. You don't feel comfortable with your working environment, your coworkers, or what you're being asked to do, And then furthermore, I guess it affects you negatively, right? We call that, is that like the basis of a toxic workplace? What we say that's it?
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I like I said, I could speak from personal experience. I think like the biggest eye opener for me was like I worked for Enterprise 6.5 years, right? And don't get me wrong, like there were some great times, some great things that I pulled from that experience, but then there were also the toxic ones, right? Something that was great, some of my closest friends I met through Enterprise because of working such long hours all the time together. You can't help but get close to people, right? Yeah. Develop impeccable work ethic, like all those things are great and dandy. But I think the biggest eye opener was my last year there. I worked my way up from being a management trainee all the way to becoming a branch manager. And my last year there, I just knew as soon as I became a branch manager, like I'll be so happy. Like, yes, I've reached my goal. Like this feels so good. Like I'm running my own branch now. Like I think when I tell you that was the worst year, like of my life at that point, it became the worst year of my life. Like I was so stressed. I was so unhappy. There was so much going on at that branch with like the employees, and then my direct area manager was terrible and low-key racist, and just like my overall experience. And like that's when I first like realized I needed to start looking into getting a therapist, because I felt like I was at my breaking point. Like I would call my mom every day just crying, and I was just so like overwhelmed and stressed out and unhappy. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And that's when I made the decision at the top of the year, when I was about like 6 months into the position, that I was ready to like start transitioning to move back to Texas. I was ready to be closer to family. I was ready to look for a different job. Like I wanted to have a totally different experience. And I just kind of wanted to like start fresh, back in Texas in the Houston area. So which It's just that was like the eye opener when it was like, yo, this is just too toxic. Like I gotta go because this is not good for my mental at all.
Damn, that's crazy, man. And I remember you going through these things, like, because then you would talk about these things. And honestly, when I think back on it now, when you were doing things, you were wilding out, you were probably wilding out because you're like, man, fuck this enterprise shit. I'm about to go over here and wild out and do some stuff, which is wild. Damn, when you really think about how like all of that really affects it, because I mean, you spend so much of your time at work, so I mean, it's only, I guess it's only fitting that it would, really, rule some of, much of your mental space.
Yeah, like I had an assistant manager who I was actually really close friends with who like wanted me to be the branch manager there. But as soon as I got there, he started like tripping out because essentially he had found a new job. So like his last few weeks there, he was like out to destroy the branch. And at the end of the day, once I figured out what was going on and what he was doing, he was essentially telling me not to take it personally, but it's like, dude, this is my branch. This is on me. So how can I not take it personally? So like, and there was collateral damage in between that with some other friendships, but we were able to repair that and stuff like that. But it's like with him, like to this day, if I see him, it's like, I ain't gonna say nothing to you. Like we good. Like it is what it is because he did me dirty. But other experiences at Enterprise, I've had to call the police several times because, we're dealing with people who want to rent these vehicles and they may not have like the right type of payment and they get mad at us for not having their stuff together. So I've been cussed out by grown men. I've been called all types of B's and H's and stuff like that because they can't get a car that they want. I've had to call the police. There was one instance where like all my guys in the branch were in the back, like getting the cars ready. So here I am like face to face with this guy and he's being super disrespectful. And I came from behind the counter trying to get like the keys to the car back and stuff like that. Luckily, he ain't swinging nothing. But when I told my mom that after the fact, she was like, Leslie, if you ever come from behind that counter, she's like, there was nothing to protect you from that man like harm you. And it's like, she's right. There's no security guard there. Police wasn't there yet. So there's, you know what I'm saying? Like he could have like, hurt me or pulled out anything. Like there's no metal detector. So we don't know what these people have on them. We're in the heart of DC. Like you just never know. So there are a lot of instances looking back where I'm like, yo, that was real toxic to be in those type of situations. And it's not good. It's not good at all.
I feel it. My gosh, maybe we should change this episode title to Workplace Horror Stories. My Lord, this is...
I got more.
I understand. And I have so many myself, which is crazy.
This started as a therapy session.
I've worked in some very hostile work environments where you had to be ready. It was just and I mean like all the way around, whether it was like sales, like in an office, because like the competition was just so high. So you had to, and like the stuff that you would say to each other was just wild. Be like, bro, I'm gonna fucking destroy you today. Like, do you understand your numbers are trash and we're gonna fuck you up? Like that's the type of shit that you would expect to hear when you walk in the morning. And then like if you lost the sales challenge,
you don't know.
You lost the sales challenge, they may make you eat baby food or some bullshit. Like niggas used to be wild. And then after like big sales, like depending on the type of salesman they were, they might be like, yeah, man, I just totally fucked that guy over. Yeah, got that shit, nigga. My numbers are right. Like people are like fucking sharks in sales. The shit is wild. Is on a whole other level.
Tell us one of your personal stories right now.
No, man. No. I don't even want to relive it. It's terrible. I don't even want to think about it. It's horrible.
You ain't worked through the trauma yet.
Apparently not. No. I could tell a few stories. I could tell some. Unless Leslie has more. Unless Leslie would like to share the most. What is the craziest one?
I thought we each were gonna share one.
Yeah. Y'all go ahead, and if we have time, I might bring it on back. But y'all go ahead.
Yeah. Well, Leslie, what was the craziest one though? What's the craziest one? I know you gotta.
The one disgusting one where I was just like, you know what? There's got to be something better on the other side. I remember I was working at the airport and I was in the return lane at the time, and there was a couple that came back to return this car, and they pulled the car up. The driver was a guy. He immediately hops up and like quickly walks out of the car, to the back where like the trunk was. No. He immediately walks out the car and starts like beelining to like where you go to where the elevators are. That'll take you to where like downstairs, the counters, the restroom and all that stuff, right? Woman comes out the passenger side and she comes to the back of the car trying to like start getting the luggage, stuff like that. And she's kind of just mumbling and shaking her head, but I'm not really knowing what she's saying. So I'm looking around the car, and then I get ready to get inside because we normally have to sit in the car. A lot of these cars at the time had transitioned to being like the pusher starts where you have to put your foot on the brake in order to start the car, right? So I'm getting ready to sit down so I can start the car and check like the gas and mileage. And like as soon as I like kind of dip in, I was like, smell something. I was like, I hop back and I look, and like you can tell like the seat, because it was like light colored gray seats. It was a dark spot on the seat.
I knew it.
This man had pissed his pants in the driver's seat. The woman was mumbling on her breath, basically saying like, "This nigga here," type of stuff. But she didn't say anything to me. She didn't warn me before I was about to get in this car. And had I not been paying attention and looking and smelling, I would have sat down in it. And so I just looked at her and I gave her a seat. I said, "That's nasty." And I just walked off. That's all I had the nerve to say that, because I'm like, bro, I'm so irritated right now. I said, "That's nasty." And I just walked off. I was like, I can't.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
He didn't have no damn water bottle to pee in. He could go over to the side of the road.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You could pee anywhere.
He had a bladder problem. Like maybe
he was older, so he definitely could have. He was probably like 65 plus, maybe even in the 70s. So he was definitely an older man, so he could have had bladder issues. But
I thought you meant he shit himself. That's what I thought you were.
I thought that's where
like I thought he, because I was like,
I would have quit that day.
He couldn't hold his bowels in. He just released them shits, and then
he was probably head to the bathroom to finish up, so he could have been. But luckily he only peed. But yeah, I was too through at that point. I was like, nah, I'm done. Wow. I gotta go, y'all.
Wow, that's damn. Well, thank you for sharing. We appreciate that.
No problem. I got more. Let me know.
Sean, you seem eager to go. Please go.
I don't really have any crazy stories like that. When I was working in like customer service, I ain't even last longer than 3 months. So like didn't work for me. But I did have a very toxic work environment. One of the nonprofits that I was working for, when I first started there, me and someone else started the same role. We both started at the same time, right? And there were already 2 other people doing our role. When we get there, like our manager at the time is like, yeah, those people are about to go. We pushing them out of the door. Like, so when we ask y'all to do something group or whatever, he's like, I think y'all should just work together. So we get in there, and me and another new guy, we work on this project together, don't include the other 2 people. And now they looking at us like, what the fuck? Well, we looking at them like, well, that's what he told us to do. So time goes on and stuff, and he's steady telling us about them, just bad mouthing these people.
That's wrong.
Like now you're completely creating a divide, because I'm like, damn, do I even want to be cool with these people if I think they about to get fired? Like, and I don't know whether to tell them what he said. Like, it was just weird as hell, right? Yeah. And yeah, he was just very a punk ass nigga. Like
that just that way.
Yeah.
So
it's weird as hell.
Question: while you were there, the entire time you were there, were those 2 individuals still there? Were they eventually let go, or did they eventually quit? Like, or
so
was just
one of them was let go sometime after that, and the other one, she just eventually quit. Honestly, everybody from the team started to quit.
Wow.
Like their turnover rate is trash.
Yeah,
because they be expecting people to work on weekends and do this other shit, like this basically Saturday Academy and all that shit.
Saturday Academy. Did y'all ever have a conversation with them like, hey, by the way, y'all, this is why we kind of weren't including y'all, because he told us not to, And what they say, like, oh, really?
Then we started being more cool with them people, and our managers started not talking to us anymore.
Terrible.
So now he got beef with us. It was weird. And even when I quit, and I tell y'all, when I sent my resignation email, he didn't respond to me for a week and a half.
Like, I remember that. I remember that shit.
Not respond to me. Yeah, I remember talking about that. The nigga did not respond to me, and I was like, that's weird as fuck. I was like, yo, I quit this job a week ago, and not anything to me about not working.
I'm about to be out
turning my laptop and shit, but like a whole week went by with nobody saying shit about me sending in my letter. Like it was weird as hell. At that point, I already scheduled a meeting with HR to do my exit interview and stuff. And when she asked me like, oh, have you met with these people? I was like, nah, nobody said nothing to me since I quit.
No one acknowledged that you were leaving whatsoever.
And then we get on a fucking, all right, last point about that. We get on a staff call. It's like everybody in the office. And I told you at this point, no one acknowledged that I've quit yet. My manager goes, "Oh yeah, I know we do got some news to go around. Would anybody like to share some news?" What, nigga? What's up? What? And then he said, did he say my name or did he? I feel like he either said my name or hinted around me like, "Oh, Miss Armstrong, you got nothing," and then asked like two other people to make it seem like it wasn't just me.
That's
it was
so weird.
fucking weird, and I was like, "Nah, I don't got nothing I want to share." Because why the fuck you ain't even say nothing to me about it, but you want me to tell a whole group of people? Nah, I'll just tell the people that I like.
That's so
I
weird.
think that was best.
Weird as hell.
I would have said, if you ain't acknowledged me quitting, does that mean I'm gonna get another paycheck after this? Like, what are we talking about here?
I'm still in payroll, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. You don't want to acknowledge it, cool. I just won't be here. But if you want to keep paying me, fine.
Right. Whatever. But that's all I got on my story of toxic workplace. I don't even want things.
That's crazy. That's a hell of a story. What you
pitting employees against each other.
That shit stressed me out.
That's weird.
Damn. Well, thank you for sharing. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Listen, what you got?
I was really cycling through my brain to find the most toxic ones, and I was thinking back. I was like, okay, so I was in high school. I used to work in customer service, and working with the public is always wild. And then like when I used to do mobile, like, and I would go from store to store. Oh my God, some of the people that they would try to get over, like the scammers, they just did not quit. Mm-hmm. Like those are wild. And then they would tell me to sell this shit. I was like, what do you mean I can't sell fraud? They're like, just sell it. I'm like, okay. Like that's the reason. Yes, niggas are wild. Like my district manager used to tell me this. Just sell it, bro. It's fine. I'm like, what? And then when shit's getting charged back, they're like, well, why'd you sell it? Then they were like, why'd you sell it? The shit is ridiculous.
That's what you told me to. I'm throwing everybody in the bus. And I sent an email per your request to still sell this item.
No, he couldn't fire me. He can talk about it. And that's why I just wouldn't do shit. Like there would be group calls. I just wouldn't get on them. And they'd be like, "Yo, we heard you went on the group call. You're right. I wasn't gonna be on that one or the next one. Wasn't gonna be on any of the group calls." Because like at some point, because they had changed so much. Like it started with one company owning it, right? And you had a lot of autonomy and you could really do things and really be effective. And then like slowly but surely it transitioned over to this other company. And it was like the blind leading the blind. The shit was terrible. Mm-hmm. It was the worst. But probably the most toxic work environment I have ever been in that didn't have to do with cell phones, that didn't have to do with an office space, anything. Joe's Crab Shack. Okay, for a small time in life, I worked at Joe's Crab Shack. I'm gonna tell you right there, I learned more about life than I have in many workspaces. Oh my fucking God. It was a savage land. Like, let me tell you. So the reason I was working there is because at the time, I think it was like when I quit mobile, right? I was like, I was done with them. They had tried to implicate me in some shit. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm done with this. That's generally, I ended up, it was interesting. Like when I was ended up leaving jobs, it was because they were trying to like get me involved in some controversy or the shit closed. And so I was like the angel of death for like companies for a while, I felt. Because I had like worked in 3 companies in a row that closed. It was wild. They were 3 separate businesses, which was wild. I don't know what was going on. I was the angel of death for restaurants or no, and then the other one was a sales thing. It's not important. But anyways, Joe's Crab Shack. Oh my God, that place. I remember one time, one of the wildest days. So, the hosts are young, right? So the hosts are going to be somewhere between like 18 and 21, right? Mm-hmm. So then you got like your divisions of servers. You have like your servers like myself that are there. We're going to make a quick buck. We live close. It's whatever, not a big deal, right? We have enough energy. We can handle 3, 4, 6 tables, not a big deal, right? Then you have like your new people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just a bunch of dumbasses. Like, I don't even know how you got this job. Like, I don't know why they hired you. Like somebody really took a chance on you today, and clearly they just needed bodies or whatever it was. Is the food that bad? I don't know. No, because you're way more competent. You're way more competent. You're way more competent than they are. I'm certain of it. Like there are people that are just dumbasses. Like, okay, so like I was known like when I would do stuff like that, because I just wouldn't write stuff down. Like I could have maybe 4 or 5 tables, and as long as it was under 6 people sitting at the table, like up to 6, I wouldn't have to write anything down. You can tell me whatever you want to tell me, I wasn't gonna write it down. right? So I'm rather efficient when I'm moving in the thing, right? So then you have other people that will forget the simplest shit. Like they were like, no cheese, and you brought them like all the cheese in the world. They were like, well, you didn't want this, and then get mad at the person because you fucked up their order, and like, and then would argue at the table with a fucking customer. And we would see this, and everybody else would see this too. But they were like, what? They was pissing me off. I'm like, nigga, go home. Go home with your dumb ass. But one of the craziest days, one of the craziest, I'll never forget this. So, but again, so there's certain divisions of servers, right? So then you have on the other side, you got the old, like, I'm a server for life type shit. Like if gang was a server, these niggas
not server for life.
I'm serious. Like
gang.
A lot of times it's older ladies, like their husband does something else or whatever it is. Like, so some of them are married, some of them weren't, but like they were service for life. And when I tell you, like, they had their regulars and they were used to a certain thing. So one day, one of those ladies came to work drunk. Like she was off the brown. Now, we didn't know this at the time. We
brown and make it clown.
Yes, it will. We found this out later. So now, granted, the hosts were not very good. They were young. They were worried about being on their damn phones and the gram and talking to a couple of friends that came by the restaurant. So they weren't really seating and turning the tables as they should, because the host had to seat and also turn tables. You know, like the servers would take all the stuff away, but the host just needed to wipe it down and get it right. So now, granted, this one girl was lazy. She was lazy as shit. I ain't gonna lie. She was lazy, but she was cute. So that's why they hired her. You know, because like you always got, I'm serious, you always keep cute.
Oh yeah, I know how it goes.
Like never hire anybody ugly for the front unless they speak like 6 different languages or something. You know what I'm saying? Like they got to really add some value, because you always want like your best face, like you want the young, fresh face in the front, right? That's why like the old servers that look crackly, whatever, they got their regulars.
Not crackly.
They do. It's true. It's real. But like they do. It's real. But like I'm saying, they be in the back. They don't ever greet people. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
They know where they're supposed to be. So anyway, she's fucking up, right? So homegirl, I almost want to say her name because she got on my fucking nerves that day, but I'm not gonna do it because I'm better than that. And anyway, so I am better than that. Anyway, so anyway, she's talking like big shit. Like she's over here, like, and the way the niggas are huddled around her, and the restaurant's full of fucking people. I know they can hear this going on, and she's getting her voice raised because the kitchen don't really have a door for real. It's just like an in and out situation. So she's sitting there. I don't know what's wrong with these young bitches, but they need to understand. And she's like over here, like she's DMX or some shit the way she's standing, and she's like, I ain't your mother. But I'm going to tell you right now, bitch, you going to find out. You going to turn my shit when I need it turned. You going, and she is going off. And she's like, she need to show up in for a minute. She need to show up here so I can beat her ass. She need to bring her young ass over here so I can. Now, this woman is 45 years old. Not
Mabel trying
this
to
woman
somebody.
Is 40, 45, 46 years old, right? Damn near 50 years old. You're over here trying to beat up some girl who's 19, right? And they damn near got into a fight. They damn near got into a fight. And then, like, so they sent her home because she was drunk. We later found out that she was off that brown, and that was what this was about. But like that restaurant had a lot of interesting stories. One of the dealers, he was a dealer. One of the waiter, and he was selling cocaine out the men's bathroom, like on the regular, like 8 balls, like heavy shit. Yeah. He was moving stuff. And this is stuff I found out later. I didn't know any of this.
Get an 8-ball with your crab legs, huh?
Yo, and then really? No, you could, and people did. And
what was the order? Like, what was the secret order?
Can I get some hush puppies? No, it would be some Dungeness crab. That's probably the most popular. And then, or the queen crab.
How would you secretly ask for the 8?
Oh, you'd have to ask for Will. And he would know, and he would point to you till you go to the bathroom. And then you would go in there, and then
that's not obvious.
He would sell you the drugs. And then there were several staff members.
And Will,
right?
No, you would no.
You would the dungeon.
You would have gone to the bar. You would have gone to the bar, and he would have known because he would have worked because he had tabletops and he had tables. Because the thing is that there was a long day. The long day was Friday, so that was the day I was bartender. Bartender definitely made the job a lot better. When I was server, it was probably the worst shit ever. But when I was bartender, you had a little more power, but there was so much more to do. It's the reason now when I touch a pineapple, my hands start to itch. Like the shit is wild. It's wild. I could literally tell you about all the ridiculous shit here. I could talk about it all day. But yeah, no, one of the one of the other big things is, so the general manager is a white dude, right? The majority of your staff is black or Latin or whatever, right? And then the assistant manager is a Latin dude, right? They're both Trump supporters too, right? So they're both Trump supporters in all of this shit going on here. And then so at one point they gave us t-shirts to wear, right? You used to have to wear t-shirts at Joe's Crab Shack, right? So one of the t-shirts said "Make crab great again," right? And so,
absolutely.
So I would have had a dress code. Right, bump that.
Right. And I remember one day, right, I just needed a shirt. And I was like, and the thing is that they were stingy with the shit. They wouldn't give their staff shirts. You had to buy your own shirt. So like, I would just take a shirt. I just took one. And they said, "Make crab great." I didn't give a fuck. I wore it, right? So I wore the shit. I didn't give a fuck. I wore it. Everybody was like, "Nigga, how you gonna wear that shit?" I'm like, "Nigga, it feel good to my skin. I don't know. It's a soft cotton shirt. I don't know what the fuck you talking about right now." Like they were ready to fight. Like literally, I almost got into a fight in the kitchen. Like there was grease and shit on the floor. We almost fell. The shit was wild. It was a wild. Yes. Too
much going on.
I'm not making any of this up. Like literally, I could call these people and they would come on here and tell you about all the ridiculous shit that used to happen in that restaurant. And when I see those people out from time to time, it's wild. There was some cast of characters in there, man. We had two really, really good rappers. I mean, they were really good. They were in the restaurant. We had the drug dealer in there.
Not the SoundCloud rappers.
But it was crazy. He was really good with the pen. Like his lyrics, like
did they make it like to this day? Are they?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know because the last time I saw
they're not, because you don't know their name.
No, I'm saying he might have been writing for somebody. That's how good he was. He could write for people. You would never know it was him. Like the dude was crazy. Okay. Like I wouldn't say that if he was trash. I'd tell you he was trash. I'm telling you about everybody else in this restaurant. So clearly he made a strong impression. But yeah, there was a radio DJ. He and his girlfriend had a radio show like at the college that was there. There was like this one girl that had like a crazy crush on me, and like we were all going to play basketball. And like I remember one day, this was wild. No, I have to say that because of what she said. This was wild. Okay. She was like, they're gonna be playing basketball. She said, "Whew, well, you know." And we were like, "No, we don't know. Dick's gonna be swinging. I'm gonna be there front row and center." I was like, "Oh, this bitch, this bitch is wild."
Ma'am, calm down.
Yeah,
it don't work like that.
Oh my god, it was just a crazy ass place, man. But yeah, that was the most toxic work environment I have ever been in. That was 6 months of my life, man. I'll never forget. Never forget.
Joe's Crab Shack. That's fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah, man. A lot going on.
I went there, and what's crazy is that I worked there out of conveniency because I just needed some part-time cash. It was not a part-time gig, nigga. There was so much there you had to like learn, and I don't know. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not. But I will say this though.
Clearly,
I really feel like everybody either needs to like work in the medical field, work in customer service, or go to the military like for 4 years. I feel like everybody should do that for at least somewhere between 2 and 4 years, because I feel like that would change your perspective about a lot of things in life. Like there are things you think you are entitled to. I need you to work in customer service. Because there's one thing I've learned is that people go somewhere to be an asshole. They're going there to be an asshole. Like when they come here, they're coming with the expectation that I get to be an asshole. So when you understand that, it helps you immensely. But if you don't understand that and you feel like, you know, they should treat you like a human being, that's where stuff starts to get hairy, starts to get crazy that way.
Definitely helps you develop a thick skin and like not to like take things personally. I learned to just let stuff roll off, like whatever, don't faze me. Or if I have like a bad interaction with somebody, my next interaction isn't gonna be based off of that one. I'm able to just let stuff go and then treat this person, you know, respectfully and fine, and not carry that over type of thing. So I would say that's what working in customer service did for me.
Yeah, we do it. Working with the public, man. The public is no joke. But now that we've shared and we've had that catharsis, you know, we've built a bond. So what can we do to help people identify a toxic workspace? What's the first thing you notice when you would call a workspace toxic?
The people.
Right, because the thing is that it's always the people. The people are always what you need to worry about. Like I'm never so much worried about like the customers that come in. I'm worried about the employees I work with, you know.
Facts. Because they can make it either a great experience or a terrible one. Like I said, like with Enterprise, I've met some of my closest friends working there, which has been the great part. But also on like the flip side as a manager, when you're responsible for those employees and you know they're not doing right or they're purposely trying to like sabotage what you got going on, that makes it a living hell. So it's like the people can either make it or break it, honestly.
I get it. For me, it's favorites. Whenever I see favorites are being played, and like it just seems that like you have undeserved seniority, that's when you know stuff starts to.
Yeah.
It's like I don't mind seniority. I get it. If you've been there and you got special privileges, I understand that you've been there for a minute. Like I'm sorry that you've been here this long, honestly. But like I get that. But no, not when like the shit seemed too new. And I'm just like, nigga, how are you getting all in? No. That's the first thing.
I've always appreciated workplaces that like promote based on merit and not seniority. You know, like what you're actually doing, like your track record, the goals that you're meeting, expectations, stuff like that. Not just, oh, could you be here for a while? You automatically get considered first. It's like, no, like if someone who's new or bring something better to the table or doing more, it's all about like your track record, honestly, and what you're bringing to the table, because someone could be there for 10 plus years and not be doing squat.
Nah, I agree with that because I had a coworker that got promoted and she sucked. Like, to be honest, like she did not deserve that position. I didn't want it, so I can't really be like, oh, it should have went to me. But like, I don't think they should have just hired somebody from outside. Like, I know she was there for a long time, but she just wasn't going to be the best choice, not in my opinion.
I get that. But you know, honestly, that's not always true either, though. Because like even like when sales, right, you could be selling well, right, and then like you have a dry week, and now they're like, nah, we don't fuck with you anymore. Or they could like give you a terrible like route, like because a lot of times, let's say you're calling, right, it's calling sales, so you have to do cold calls, right. They could give you a bunch of fucked up leads. So you could have a month of fucked up leads and you're like, why am I not doing stuff? And why are they getting, because they have people that actually want the thing that you want. Like they have hotter leads. So then now you're like, well, I don't get it. Well, we get it because they're playing favorites. It's that favorite shit, you know?
I actually had that happen with the job where it's like you said, we were reaching out based on like the states that we were given. So like one of my coworkers had like great states, like the big ones, Cali and Texas and all this stuff. Meanwhile, another coworker had like the Utahs and like the Minnesotas or like the smaller ones. So it's just like that coworker kind of at a disadvantage based on what they were given, but they're measured on the same scale where I feel like it should be kind of adjusted based on what's actually like realistic to expect from this territory versus this territory. You know, I feel like if you're going to do it that way, you have to make the scale fair and not just measured all on the same scale, because it's not going to be the same. And that's going to be a disadvantage to an employee. And then you're going to base their performance off of that and automatically think they're not doing well when in all reality, it's just what they're given.
I always equate sales to a cotton plantation. You know, like I've always equated sales to a cotton plant. I'm serious because, like, you know, the cotton plantations is how it works. You pick all day, and then your hands are all rubbed up, and then you got to do it all day tomorrow. But the thing about it is that if you pick and have a really, really good day, they expect you to do that same thing forever. And then if you don't, you get lashes and get admonished for that. Like literally sales operates just like a cotton plantation. It's the craziest thing ever. And people are cool with it. Like, you know, that thing on Instagram, they're like, what's a scam that seems normal that we do?
On
sales.
TikTok,
Sales. That's exactly what it is. It's that.
Hey, you're not wrong when you're right.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Nah, I would definitely say like people giving you like too many tasks at one time. Like,
overload.
It's the whole overload, and then they try to guilt trip you on why you should do that shit. And it's always people that make way more money. Like, we're here for the kids. You know, I'm a nonprofits and shit. So we're here for the kids and we'll do whatever we gotta do. One of my jobs asked me to go fucking knock on students' doors and shit at their homes.
Was that in your job description?
No, and I'm not doing no shit like that. You got me fucked up. Nah.
What was you knocking on the door? Like, why were you going to their homes? Like, was there a purpose
to try to get them? So the students that showed interest in our program, and we would try to get them to sign up. And they needed a lot of personal information, like from their parents, so that would stop a lot of students from completing the application. And he would be like, you know, if you can't get them to take it home and complete it, then you might just have to go knock on doors and talk to the parents.
What about a call or email?
Sir, I'm not sure what year you think this is, but I'm not knocking on nobody's fucking door.
I mean, I'm not opposed to that if there's going to be some type of monetary advantage to me doing so. Like, if I do that, like, am I paid extra for those hours? Like, am I paid for those hours where I go over there? there,
No,
like
they're not.
like a
No.
$50 a
It's
visit,
never extra
$100 a
pay
visit.
for more work. Like, what? That's
Never.
not how it works.
Because if it was
Yeah.
like I
Unless
get
it's like
$100 for a visit and a sign
requested.
up, okay, well, you've made it worth my while. I might go knock on a few
It's
doors on
never worth your
Saturday,
while.
you
Yeah,
know.
no, fuck that.
Anyway, another issue that you can do to identify a toxic workplace, one of the ones that's near and dear to my heart that I feel like it happens often is when they stifle your creative freedom. You know, like how many times have you had a power at a gig and they changed it because they thought this would be better, or they restructured this and then now you can't do this anymore. And then now it's made your job
Mhm.
tougher to be able to, you know, do whatever it was. Like whether it be just a certain protocol you have to do now, or now there's a certain file you got to go get, or now you can't go into this program because we don't want to pay them anymore, or whatever it is. You know, it's always something they want to do to stifle what you know. And I understand change is the only constant, but like y'all could, I feel like at some point they're not really thinking about their employees, they're just thinking about their bottom line.
Yeah, I to that point, I feel like, you know, a lot of jobs that I've had have been like heavily sales focused. And so, you know, they have like their processes in place already. But once you're like doing something, if you find like a more efficient way to do something, or something that like produces better results, and you try to bring that to them, sometimes they just shut it down because they're so like ingrained in the process that they've already had for
Oh
so
yeah.
long.
Oh yeah.
But it's like you have to be open to new ways of doing things, or improved ways to doing things, you know, if it's proven to be better for, like I said, the bottom line, or for the company overall. So I think that is a red flag when supervisors or managers aren't even open to looking at new ways of doing things, or improved ways of doing things.
I've definitely been in organizations where people were just hesitant to change because they were just older in a lot of the cases, and they were like, you've been doing this a certain way for X amount of years and it's been working, but it's like it's not working.
Old people are the fucking worst in the
It's
workplace.
not,
Change,
or
yeah.
it's not time efficient. And I would definitely rather work smarter than harder. Like I'm
Hello.
not doing it that doesn't make sense. So if you want me to do steps 1 through 6, when really I can do 1, 4, 6, I'm gonna do 1,
And
4,
still get there, yes.
and still get to 6. I'm not doing all that unnecessary stuff. Like that
And the
doesn't make
quality
sense
of
to
work
me.
hasn't changed. I see no issue.
Right. I don't
Exactly.
understand why it would be an issue, but some people are just stuck in their ways for real.
Yep.
It's old
You
people.
all right.
But you know what's crazy though? At some point, like we might be the old people. Like, and it's like,
Hopefully I'm not working.
Okay,
well, but
I'm
see,
be retired.
but that's just it. At some point, you just need to own it. Niggas got to deal. You know.
Yeah.
Like
And even if we are the older people, I still feel like we'll be like us, as far as like we're so open to like new things, or not just so rigid and
Tell me how
stuck
to
in our
use
ways. I
reels,
feel like we're
right? Tell
more
me how to use
fluid.
reels right now on TikTok.
Oh, you see, I've been making the reels, baby. I've been making it. I got a few of my
On
drafts
TikTok,
ready
on
to
TikTok,
go.
on TikTok.
I got a couple TikToks in my drafts. Let me show you. I got 2 drafts right now on TikTok. I got another draft in Reels. I've been making them, baby. I've been making them. Come on. I learned.
Oh shit. Oh
I'm
shit.
self-made, baby. I'm self-made. Come on.
Oh man, Nana Leslie is learning. Nana Leslie
I done
is
became an
learning.
influencer, y'all. Y'all watch out for me.
Sean, what is another way that you see to identify a toxic workplace?
I would definitely say like communication between the employees and supervisors.
Say it again
Absolutely.
for the people in the back, for the bosses in the back. Don't be listening.
And you really cannot be a passive aggressive supervisor. Oh
Say
my,
it.
that is the most
Yeah.
effective form of communication in the workplace. Like, ooh, it grinds my gears. Like I understand that those decisions that you're making are uncomfortable, but that's what you signed up for. So you're gonna have to get over that shit.
Yeah. I feel like if I don't feel comfortable talking to you, like that's a problem. You know, you should like from day one make it like an open door policy where like communication can flow both ways. Like, you know, I should feel comfortable like coming to you, talking to you about whatever, you know. And I don't know. I've had a lot of managers and supervisors to where it literally feels like just that. Like you're just like this, you know, person that's going to tell me about what's not going right instead of like praise me when things do go right, or you're just here to like nitpick. Versus one of my favorite like supervisors who I'm still cool with to this day was the last one I had when I was in Houston. And we still talk to this day. Like, she'll hook me up either on Snapchat or text message, like seeing how things are going. I'll talk to her about her family. Like, when I say this woman told me all her business, and like we used to carpool together because she lived like, girl, I know everything about her life. We used to carpool together because she lived like in the neighborhood across the street from my apartment building, and like we were just super cool. We used to go to lunch together. Like, I freaking love this lady. Like, she was super cool and real chill. And that was probably one of my better work experience, I'll say. And it was because of her for the most part. Not even like the job was cool, it was recruiting. I enjoyed that, but like she made it an enjoyable experience. Just by the way she managed and everything. So yeah, if I can't talk to you, I'm just like,
the right manager can definitely make an experience. Like, I remember when we changed district managers, I felt like I died a little bit inside the day we got this new district manager.
No.
Like, because we had the one I liked before, she was great, right? And then we had this nigga. Oh my God. I don't want to say his name, but I should. I really should. Because he was nasty too. Apparently he was trying to hit on the young girls and stuff and whatnot. Not like underage, not underage. As like just the younger.
Clarify.
I do. I don't. Let me not put that. I don't want to put that out there about him. No. He would try to talk to like
the investigation
to the young female employees, as in like they were all over the proper age, because you couldn't be at that job and not be over the proper age.
Right.
But he just, and then he wanted the most ridiculous shit, and he was one of the ones that was like, you should sell fraud. He was a piece.
Yo, what kind of jobs would you work in? There's drugs, there's fraud. Yeah, it's too much going on in your places of employment.
I mean,
was anything on the up and up that you?
Oh no, there were plenty of things on the up and up. It's just that there were certain situations where people would just be like,
"Yeah,
is it done yet? Like... I mean, what's really funny going back to Joe's though about the Coke thing was really funny that anytime anybody went in the bathroom, like next to him, they was like, "What are you doing? Are you gonna put that shit in your nose? Don't you put that shit in your nose?" I'm like, I just had to take a piss. I don't know what's going on with you.
Awkward as hell.
No, I'm not even being funny with you. Like, one of the girl bartenders, right? She was like 5 years younger than me, but like in her mind, she was like 10 years older than me. Like, because she had been there for a minute. And honestly, she really acted like she was 10 years older than me. So like in her mind, she was in her mid-30s. And this girl was like 22 at the time. And like I literally was going to the bathroom, and she was like, and she like stopped me when I came out the bathroom. She said, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, like it was like in roots of some shit. She was just, what are you doing? And I was like, what? I was taking a piss. I washed my hands. Is that what it is? My hands, I washed them. And she's like, "No, don't you put that shit in your nose like that old man." I was like, okay, I don't know what you think just went down, but I didn't buy any drugs. Okay,
she ain't want you on that booger sugar.
I didn't put some shit up in their nose. I'll tell you who.
It was a time. It was
just
a time.
Say no to the booger sugar, y'all. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it.
Oh man, is there anything else we want to shout out before we move on and tell these people how to handle a toxic work environment?
I think we can go to the next one.
I believe that too. I really do. So you figured out that the workplace is toxic. Unfortunately, you're in a toxic work situation, but goddamn, you can't quit that job just yet. So we have a few things here to try and help you handle that situation. And the first thing is use the lips God gave you. Try and solve the issue by talking. Diplomacy, try it. Really, really, really try it. Sometimes diplomacy, like that one story where they were calling her skinny. It means, you gotta tell her that she's fat. You just gotta keep it moving. You gotta do what you gotta do.
No, the first thing she did was she addressed it with her, told her to stop, and then she went to the manager, and then that was the last resort because nothing else she did worked.
But she used her words, and they did not get into fisticuffs. That's all I'm saying.
Facts. That's true.
How many fights have y'all seen in the workplace? Like, have y'all seen an actual like fisticuffs happen in a workplace?
No, but I've seen arrests happen. I've seen
I've seen several of those. I've seen several of those and a few fights at a workplace. It is wild. I don't
was
know
this
why.
Joe's?
Only one was at Joe's. Oh, well, there you go. That's a fight. That counts. That for sure counts.
Oh, I've seen hella fights thing. Yeah. I've seen hella fights.
You should have jumped in first.
She thought employees.
I'm not. First of all, I'm not even allowed to break that shit up. So I'll just be like,
I wouldn't. That ain't got nothing to do with
who
me.
breaks the fight up then?
Mind your business.
Security.
I remember one time I was walking to the train, after school. I'm walking to the train station and all the students walking at the same time and shit. So I used to try to wait until most of them left.
Yeah.
I'm walking to the train station and I just see some students fighting. I just called the front office as I was walking by. Yeah, there's some kids down here fighting. Yeah, all right, this Miss Arms. Yeah, this all right, yeah, bye. And I just kept on walking.
I would never. It's either security. If they got security, then like some coaches or somebody. It ain't on
somebody, because I'm gonna tell you ain't about to go ahead and get.
Nope. I'm CB1 to it. I don't see nothing.
We is all equal. We is all equal. You a lady teacher. I'm a male teacher. You, if I break a fight up, you gotta break a fight up too. Break them shits up.
No, we're not equal.
No, the men teachers don't have to break up fights. The teachers aren't supposed to break up fights at all.
Really? Not at all anymore. Really? It's crazy.
Not because then the student parents can sue you and stuff if you like.
Oh my God, people are so petty these days.
That's good to know.
I heard you can't even kids get beat up for a little bit.
You can't even let them take their cell phones, right? Anymore. You can't take their cell phones anymore, correct?
Oh, I don't know.
That's what. That's what Josh was telling me.
Policy. It might be school
per school.
Yeah, because Josh was telling me that he was like, yeah, because now technically you can't take the kids' phones because technically the kids can't own the property because they're under 18. So technically you're taking the parents' property. So by that logic of thinking, you can't take the kids' phones anymore. That's why you get so many TikTok videos and stuff in class. So
well,
yeah.
Anyway,
that's a total. We're digressing.
Yeah. The next thing I would say on how to handle a toxic work environment, you definitely want to like document everything. So you have a paper trail on your end. Anytime something happens or whatever it is, you just want to have that paperwork to where you can prove your side of it if it comes down to it. And then you also want to get HR involved, because at the end of the day, especially if it's with someone who has a higher title than you, it's going to be like you versus them type of thing, depending on what the situation is. So you definitely want to make sure you're communicating with HR, with your documentation as stuff is happening. So they're already fully aware of what's going on.
We need your best TI impression, your best paper trail. We need the best thing you have.
I'm snitching on. I'm telling everything to HR, and then this happened, and we was in this meeting, and they said this, and this person said that, and it was crazy.
Have you ever been around a funny scandal? One of the funniest scandals I'll ever remember. This. So we used to rank indirectly for like the mobile carriers, right? So one of the ones was AT&T, right? So for a while, right, when you had your rep that would come to the store, right? And like I used to be really cool with my rep, and she used to tell me the wildest fucking stories. And I mean, they were true stories. One of the ones that was the most hilarious was they were busting AT&T people because they were using their company cards for like frivolous shit, like all kind of stuff. Like they were like buying groceries, they were like paying people's school tuition and stuff. Like one dude took his family to Cancun with the fucking company card.
And
then because the thing
is that just don't care.
Because the thing is that
him do a solo trip.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. He could have been the host. He said his family, but we don't know who went with him. We don't know. And but then they went and interviewed all of them, and then like a lot of them started singing, like y'all saying. Like I remember, her boss came one time. He was like, "Look, I told everybody. I told the truth. I snitched on everybody." I was like, "Look," they was like, "Did he spend?" Yes, he spent a lot of money. I saw him do it. I was like,
"I seen it."
Oh my God! Like it got to the point it was bad because at first they wanted you to wine and dine these because it was business to business at that point. So they wanted you to like, yeah, we could work on this 100-line deal, this 200-line deal. Like one dude, he was like, "How do you explain Cancun?" He was like, "Yeah, man, I had to take them to Cancun for these 1,000 lines they were gonna buy." That's what he was trying to say. He was like, "Yeah, they was gonna get 1,000 lines." So I had to take them to Cancun.
1,000 lines. Come on.
Right.
I had to take them to Cancun.
That wasn't happening.
I had to take them to Cancun. Oh man, it was fucking wild. To this day, one of the funniest scandals. I was like, how did you not think you were getting caught? Like, how did you just not think? How did you not?
You just made me think of an enterprise scandal. This had actually, it was I guess happening while I was there. I personally didn't witness it, but I heard rumblings that stuff was going on, but the blow up didn't happen until after I left. But basically, like, we have gas cards in order to go fill up the rentals or whatever to be prepared for the customers. And normally, like, the service agents will go do that because they're the one that cleans the car and stuff like that. Sometimes, you know, other employees will have to, but mostly them or whatever. Turns out they had this whole ring going on where like the service agents were like filling up their personal cars, or they had like either family members or friends, like other people would like kick back them some money in order to like fill up the tank on the card and everything like that. And that's a surefire way to get fired if you stealing gas. If you stealing gas from Enterprise and they find out, which they typically always do because it's a record of it, you don't get fired. But what happened was, of course, the gas station that they were going to up the street from the Howard location, they had cameras, and also like the manager, the owner was kind of like, noticing how like more frequently the service agents were coming to fill up gas. Like we would use it, here and there. Normally customers will bring back the gas where it's supposed to be, but every now and then you have to use it. But he was like, they're coming in so frequently now. Like, what's going on? And he started like watching tapes back, stuff like that. He put two and two together, and then he told the area manager, and then area manager fired everybody who was involved with it. I was like, dang, y'all crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I always enjoy some of the scandals at work because they're fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some of the really funny ones are when, like, like this fraternization of the employees, and like somebody was fucking somebody they should have been fucking, and then it comes out.
I got
when,
stories
like,
about
when
that.
those mass emails. Oh man, those would be funny. And then and they had to resign, and you know exactly why they resigned. Oh man.
So
good times.
Real quick, you remind me of another one. there was an enterprise area manager who was married and was having sex with like was she a management trainee at the time?
Of course she was. It had to be somebody young and impressionable.
It was, or she had just made management assistant. I can't remember, but yeah, and I couldn't stand her. She got on my nerves. So yeah, like, and my friend was the branch manager at the same branch as the girl who was directly under that area manager. So he was telling me, like, yeah, this is what's going on. I peeped this, I peeped that. I'm like, really? I was like, he's married. He was like, what that mean? I'm like, bro, I was like, this is so crazy. Like, cause he was such a beloved like area manager. He had been there for a long time. Everybody thought he was so cool and Stuff hit the fan at one of the happy hours where people got too drunk.
Got a lady in the city.
She started blabbing and talking to other people at happy hour what was going on with them. And then stuff hit the fan that night. And then the next morning, they were both gone. The vice president of the area found out, and it was like, that's all she wrote. I was like, dang, y'all got loose lips over here. Yeah, you get some alcohol and you start talking, singing like a little songbird. But yeah, I got more. Let me know if you want more stories.
Nah, I think we good.
I think we just need to run down the list right quick. I think we need to run down and let everybody know how to handle these situations. And y'all are going to nod in agreement if this is right. So if you try to solve the issue by talking, you confide in family and friends. Would you do that? Should we do that? Yes or no? Do we want to do that?
You have to vent to your family and friends. Otherwise, it's going to be too much.
I agree. I for sure agree. Do we seek support in the office? Do we do it secretly or do we do it publicly?
Secretly, I feel like you gotta feel it out, because naturally, like, you may gravitate towards some people to where you're really cool with them. So if you start hearing things like from them, like, oh, I'm going through this, or this is how I feel, you can kind of see who you can kind of align with. So I'm not opposed to doing that, but in secret though, not to where like the manager and stuff knows.
I would only confide in like my real work friends.
I mean, you never know, because they may snitch on you too. So you really got to be careful with that. But again,
you gotta know your work friends.
Exactly. But again, keep that paper trail. Listen to T.I. He has a full work on it. He'll definitely tell you how to do so. For the young kids who don't know what that is, look up T.I.'s album Paper Trail. Just gonna put that out there. Also, yes, you can definitely talk to HR. You can do whatever you like. Okay, you can do whatever you like. All right.
But keep going. T.I. Stand podcast.
Said you were gonna read through these, and you haven't been doing that.
I did. We approached HR with the issue. I told you, documenting everything. Keep that paper trail. We talked about that, but balance the good with the bad, because yes, there will always be bad things at work, of course. So there will be some things that are good, some things that are bad. That's just a normal workspace, and you have to realize how much you can tolerate, and how much is really out of order. But the biggest thing, of course, is if you cannot figure out a way to come to some type of compromise with yourself or with your space, you got to leave. You got to up and leave and have the strength and the courage to do so. Give them the deuces,
Get out right now.
Playing your exit efficiently.
Yep.
Exactly. But is that everything? Have we covered it all?
I think so. I think this was a good conversation, kind of sharing our experiences and then also giving some tips on, what to look out for and how to leave.
We may have to have like an extended like moment where we just talk about all the craziest stories we've had at work. Like low key, maybe we need to we may need to do an episode where people send us the craziest stories they've ever had at work. That might be the move.
Yeah,
we could do this for hours and hours and hours.
And this is the time where we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back. You know what time it is? It's time to go outside. It's time to shush those arms. It's time to put a little energy in your step. It's time for reset. Oh my God. I like that little Latin energy. That was some Latin energy.
Y'all wasn't even expecting.
She was listening to Romeo Santos this weekend, y'all. She listened to Prince Royce. I'm here for it.
I don't even know who those people
are. And as I was going, it just kept happening. But anyway, let's get into this. For recess today, we are going to talk about how Netflix got their own version of Unsung called Untold.
I mean, it's real.
I love Unsung, so I've seen so many episodes.
You will probably love these then.
These Netflix series, yeah. But one of the first ones that came out was The Girlfriend Who Didn't Exist.
So this is actually...
Y'all have watched it. Tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah, this is actually like their, I want to say like second round of these. So it's like I was introduced to it earlier this year when the Mouse at the Palace one came out, but the most recent one that came out was The Girlfriend Who Didn't Exist, which is the story about what's his name, Manti Te'o.
Yes.
He was a football player. He was a beloved football player playing at was it Notre Dame, if I remember correctly? Was that what he was?
I believe he's at Notre Dame, yeah.
Yeah, one of those, prestige colleges. Anyway, he was like, number one in the country in his position. Like he was beloved. Everybody loved him, his story and everything. Meanwhile, the whole time he was playing there, he was being catfished unbeknownst to him. There was another young gentleman from the same, culture. He was Hawaiian. They were both Hawaiian or whatever. And he was going through his own stuff, his own identity crisis type of thing, and he created this whole catfish character that ended up becoming Manti Te'o's girlfriend. Long story short, it went too far, and he had to like try to kill her off to kind of stop it instead of coming clean about what he was doing. So the same day Manti lost his grandma was the same day that he came with this elaborate scheme that like the girlfriend was in a car crash. And then she, died, but then he wasn't ready for it to be done yet. So he kind of brought her back to life. And then later said like she had like cancer. It was just all this extra stuff. Where the same day his grandma passed is when he finally said like the girl died or whatever. So he goes on national TV right before this big game and says that, I lost my grandma and I lost my girlfriend, but I'm going to play for them. He had a great game. He persevered. So now the whole world is involved in this man's life and they're rooting for him. They're wanting him to do great. It later comes out that this was a whole catfishing story that, the girlfriend never existed. They think he created this in order to like build himself up in America's eyes when he was just a victim of all this. So comes out later that the man who actually like catfished him, he wanted to be a woman this whole time, which is why he was playing the role. So now he's a trans woman living in his truth.
You know what? Good for them, man.
And basically Manti Te'o was supposed to be like high in the drafting or whatever, but he got kicked out from the first round to the second round. He had this like stain on his back. They said he was like the third most hated athlete at one point in time behind Tiger and behind Lance Armstrong, who was taking drugs at the time and stuff. So it's like,
honestly, they should never have hated on any of those athletes because they were doing what they needed to do. Like Tiger needed white women to hit that white ball, and Lance needed a little extra oxygen because he had one ball. Okay, so they get those privileges.
Get out my face, Tristan.
to get those privileges.
Anyway,
you know what?
Anyway, I just want to say, despite it all, though, like Manti still remained the same, like peaceful, humble person. Like he ended up having to go to therapy and stuff because he was having severe anxiety and just wondering why he felt all this stuff. And one profound thing that he said the therapist told him was like, "Have you forgiven that person for doing that to you?" He said, "Yeah, I forgave that person. Like, it's whatever," which he did. But then the therapist said, "Do you forgive yourself?" He was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Do you forgive yourself for allowing yourself to be deceived in this way?" And so at the end of the day, he played for like what he played from 2013 all the way to 2021. So he had
he played for a while.
nice career. He just got married in 2020. He has kids now, so it's like he's living a great prosperous life. But he's
I was
always
just about to ask. He was sure it's a real woman
back.
this time, right?
Yes, it's a real woman, Tristan.
Gotta make sure. You gotta make sure.
Yeah, you silly. But it was really sad to watch. But like I said, he's remained a great guy throughout it all, and he deserves the best. So, and he fine too. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But did you have any thoughts on it, Tristan? I know you knew about this story. I know you didn't have a chance to watch it.
For me, it was just like I just don't understand this whole catfishing thing. Cause like I live that Aubrey life, I didn't see it on the gram. I'm trying to see that shit in 3D. Okay. That's just how it is. Like, I don't know how I would ever gotten this far because, like, you didn't even send me, like, you didn't send, I needed a video. Okay, of you naked reading a newspaper or something.
Yeah.
Because, like, we'd have gotten down to the bottom of this real quick. Like, that's why these things are always just, no.
It was like people were like video messaging, sure, but it wasn't like FaceTime was huge at that time, or like
I just wouldn't have believed it. Like she didn't send me no panties in the mail. Like I've never received an apple pie. What are we talking about here? Why do I believe it? She's real. Why am I believing this?
The thing that was trippy was
how real he was making it seem.
The thing that was trippy was she went on Dr. Phil. And she showed Dr. Phil how she like threw her voice to sound like a woman. It legit 1 minute she was talking like a guy, and then the next she sounded just like a woman. Even Dr. Phil was like,
they built this over the phone. He butterflied her. She butterflied her.
It wasn't just real. A text message.
Okay. Yeah, no, they had conversations. They had phone conversations.
Okay. So
at one point, all right. At one point, when he brought her back to life,
that's the wildest shit right there.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
He dated Frankenstein.
Manti said, "I don't believe you. Send me a picture, and in this picture, I need you to be doing certain things and holding up a certain things." He ended up reaching out to the girl who he saw his pictures because they had like a high school connection, I want to say, but they weren't like close or nothing. The girl sent exactly what he needed. She didn't really ask any questions. She was like, "Oh, he just wanted this. Okay, whatever." She didn't realize she was her image was being used this whole time as a catfish.
Oh, damn.
So by saying that to Manti was like, "Oh, like she must be real and she must be really alive now." So I believe her again. So it was just like this elaborate thing, and it just went too far. It was sad.
Yikes.
Shout out my nigga Manti. All right.
See, my man was really making this seem real.
He really was.
Okay, that sounds like something that, y'all catfish lovers, including myself, might have to check. That sounds like some.
Wait, what's your favorite line from Catfish?
You should never call me a fat Kelly Price.
That would never not be funny.
Not you should never call me a fat Kelly Price.
Kelly Price is fat. That's wild.
And she was fat, so I don't even understand. I don't even understand what the hell that meant.
Well, really, what it is
down at a point for
it's unnecessary. It's redundant. It's like saying ATM machine. That's automated teller machine. Kelly Price is fat, so it's like you said, I'm fat. Oh, I'm fat. Oh, word. How dare you? I get it. I get it.
Fat.
Not a little fat, you fat.
Yeah. But yeah, y'all should check it out though. I like the Untold series. It's actually very enlightening. I love a good doc period. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this because I'm definitely a catfish fanatic.
So. You would be like, what? And then what? And then she did what? Like you would not believe how elaborate.
These stories just frustrate me because I'm just thinking about the ass whooping that was gonna get caught once I figured out what happened.
And he didn't even do that. He said he forgave on the spot type of stuff, like he let it go. But it set all the hate he got because people really thought that he was the liar and making all this stuff.
I get that. It makes sense because why wouldn't you be? at that point. You know, like if I'm hearing this story for the first time, I'm like, nigga, you made that shit up. You made that shit up. Like you was on some weird shit and made it up. But I get it now. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild, wow.
Yeah, definitely watch it, Sean. It's 2 parts, so it's an hour each, so it's quick.
Okay. Definitely make sure y'all check that out. But that's all I got for us in recess today. I think we can get up out here.
That was quick. You really are on a singing mood. Are you gonna sing us out today? But before you sing us out, though,
I'm really smart as hell.
No, but before you sing us out, though, check us out on YouTube. Check us out on the TikTok. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on YouTube. And then check us out wherever you get your podcasts. You know, Apple, Spotify. We out here. You know, Beyonce said we wasn't that outside, nigga. We are that outside. We outside. Okay, we're here. You can fuck with us. Hit us up. We definitely want to talk to you. But until the next time, y'all.
Oh Lord,
I've been Tris.
The party may change, but the vibe remains the same. Put the Mariah hands.
All right, fuck it. That's the end. All right, we're done. That's it. We're done.
Call me Sierra.
Peace, y'all.
No, I will not. Bye.
Deuces.